What if the greatest mistake in human history isn't something we forgot, but something we were taught to believe? What if the civilizations we call primitive understood the world in ways we still can't fully explain? What if some knowledge wasn't lost by accident, but quietly buried by time? Across the planet stand impossible structures, pyramids, vast symbols carved into the earth, cities swallowed by the sea. Not ruins, but questions. And every time we think we've found an answer, history responds with silence. And 10 more mysteries. Maybe the problem isn't that we don't know enough. Maybe it's that we've been looking at the past the wrong way. And if that's true, then the real story of humanity may still be waiting to be uncovered. From the dawn of human civilization, the past has always whispered its secrets, silent echoes of a time we can barely grasp, yet endlessly seek to understand. We stand at the edge of the known world, gazing back across millennia, and there are moments, fleeting and subtle, when we catch a glimpse of something beyond our comprehension. The ancient world, rich in wisdom and shrouded in mystery, continues to confound even the most brilliant minds of modern scholarship. For every discovery that seems to illuminate the past, there are 10 more that raise more questions than they answer. The allure of the unknown has always been part of the human experience. Since the earliest days, humans have tried to make sense of the world around them, charting the stars, building great monuments, and weaving stories that echo through the ages. But what if some of these stories hold more truth than we have been led to believe? What if there's an ancient knowledge that has been lost over time, hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to rediscover it? Some of the world's greatest mysteries remain unsolved, and they refuse to be buried by time. In this journey, we venture into the heart of history's most puzzling enigmas, ancient secrets that still baffle even the brightest minds of our time. From towering stone structures that defy engineering logic to lost cities that vanish without a trace, these mysteries refuse to be forgotten. They haunt the edges of historical records, where fact blurs into legend, and what we know begins to collide with what we cannot explain. It is here, in this space between the known and the unknown, where the true power of these ancient puzzles lies. Their very existence suggests something profound. Perhaps history is not just a simple collection of dates and events, but a vast web of interconnected stories, lost knowledge, and forgotten truths. The Great Pyramids of Giza stand as a testament to the enduring mystery of ancient Egypt. These colossal structures, aligned with such precision, continue to confound engineers, archaeologists, and mathematicians alike. How could a civilization, using the tools available at the time, have constructed such monumental feats? Were the Egyptians simply ahead of their time? Or is there more to the story? Perhaps a lost technology or knowledge that we have yet to uncover. These questions have stirred the imaginations of countless explorers, historians, and theorists throughout the ages. Some even suggest that the pyramids are not just tombs or temples, but symbolic beacons of a forgotten wisdom, left behind for future generations to decipher. But the mysteries of the ancient world are not confined to Egypt. The search for the lost city of Atlantis, once thought to be the mere fabric of legend, has taken many twists and turns. For centuries, scholars have debated whether Plato's accounts of this sunken civilization hold any truth, or if Atlantis was merely a metaphorical story of human pride and hubris. Yet, as more underwater ruins are discovered in the depths of the oceans, the question remains: could Atlantis have been real? Was it an advanced society that perished in a cataclysmic event, or are these findings the result of coincidence and human imagination? The boundary between myth and reality continues to shift as new evidence emerges, and the mystery of Atlantis grows ever deeper. The vast and mysterious geoglyphs of the Nazca Lines in Peru add another layer to our understanding of ancient cultures and their abilities. These massive drawings, so intricate they can only be truly appreciated from the air, raise significant questions about the relationship between these ancient people and the skies above them. Were these lines created as part of ritualistic practices, or are they messages intended for gods or extraterrestrial beings? Some theories suggest they were astronomical markers, guiding ancient navigators or aiding in the tracking of celestial movements. The sheer scale and complexity of these lines challenge our understanding of ancient technology and the capabilities of those who created them. Similarly, Stonehenge stands as one of the most famous and enigmatic landmarks in the world. Despite centuries of research, the true purpose of this ancient monument remains elusive. Was it an astronomical observatory, a religious site, or something entirely different? The stones themselves seem to hold secrets that modern archaeologists have yet to fully unlock. And as we examine the surrounding landscape, with its many burial mounds and strange alignments, we are left wondering, what did the builders of Stonehenge know about the natural world that we have long forgotten? The mystery of this site lies not just in its construction, but in its meaning. Stonehenge continues to capture the imagination of millions, its purpose still wrapped in the mist of time. Beyond the monumental sites and structures, the ancient world also holds mysteries in the form of technology. The discovery of the Antikythera mechanism, a device that predates similar technology by over 1,000 years, raises profound questions about the capabilities of ancient civilizations. This sophisticated, gear-driven instrument, often referred to as the world's first analog computer, suggests that the ancient Greeks possessed an understanding of mechanics and astronomy that was not widely believed to have existed at that time. How could a civilization, so seemingly focused on philosophy and art, have developed such advanced technology? Did the Greeks inherit this knowledge from a more ancient, forgotten source? Or did they stumble upon a lost art of craftsmanship that has since been lost? And then there are the giant stone statues of Easter Island, known as the Moai. These towering figures, some of which weigh several tons, continue to perplex archaeologists. How were they transported across the island? What was their purpose? The sheer effort involved in creating and moving the Moai raises questions about the capabilities of the ancient Rapa Nui people. And yet, despite the monumental scale of these statues, much about the civilization that created them remains a mystery. Did they have a spiritual or symbolic significance, or were they part of a larger, now forgotten social structure? The answers, if they exist, are buried beneath the island's soil, waiting to be uncovered. Each of these ancient secrets, whether they lie in the ruins of a lost city, a mysterious artifact, or a monumental structure, challenges our assumptions about the past. They remind us that what we know is often a fraction of the whole story. And while modern science and archaeology have made incredible strides in uncovering the past, there is still so much that eludes our grasp. The more we uncover, the more we realize how little we truly understand. But perhaps the most tantalizing aspect of these ancient mysteries is the possibility that they are not just relics of the past. They're pieces of a puzzle that have yet to be completed. The ancient world was not just a collection of civilizations. It was a complex web of knowledge, culture, and technology that may have stretched across time and space in ways we have yet to fully comprehend. The key to unlocking these secrets may lie not in the facts we have, but in the gaps between them, the spaces where the light of our understanding has not yet reached. As we embark on this exploration of the most puzzling ancient secrets, we invite you to consider the possibility that the past is not as distant as we think. The mysteries we encounter are not just ancient puzzles, but questions that continue to resonate with us today. They challenge us to think differently, to question what we know, and to open our minds to the idea that there is more to history than we have been taught. In the pursuit of these answers, we may uncover not just the secrets of the past, but the deeper truths that connect us all across time. In the end, the pursuit of these ancient secrets is not merely an academic endeavor. It is an invitation to explore the unknown, to confront the mysteries that still elude us, and to embrace the wonder and curiosity that come with the quest for knowledge. The ancient world, with all its secrets, still holds much to teach us. And perhaps, in the process, we will discover something even more profound, that the more we learn, the more we realize how much there is yet to uncover. The Great Pyramids of Giza stand as towering symbols of ancient Egypt's grandeur and mystique. With their precise alignments, massive stone blocks, and seemingly impossible engineering, these structures have captured the fascination of historians, archaeologists, and even conspiracy theorists for centuries. In the world of ancient wonders, the pyramids are perhaps the most iconic and enigmatic. They have inspired awe and wonder, and yet, despite centuries of study, they remain a source of perplexing questions. Were these magnificent structures built using the knowledge and tools available at the time, or do they point to a deeper, hidden truth, one that challenges everything we think we know about ancient civilizations? At the heart of this mystery is the question of how the ancient Egyptians were able to construct such colossal structures. The largest of these pyramids, the Great Pyramid of Khufu, stands over 450 feet tall, and its base covers an area of approximately 13 acres. The sheer scale of this monument is staggering, especially when considering the technology available to the Egyptians around 2500 BCE. The methods used to transport and position the massive stone blocks, each weighing several tons, continue to elude modern engineers. Conventional wisdom suggests that the Egyptians used a combination of ramps, levers, and manpower to move the blocks into place. However, no definitive evidence has been found to support this theory, and many questions remain. Some scholars propose that the Egyptians may have used a spiral ramp system, winding its way up the pyramid as construction progressed. Others suggest that a straight or zigzagging ramp was employed, extending far out from the pyramid and gradually increasing in height. Yet, all of these theories have their flaws, and the absence of concrete evidence to support them makes the construction process even more elusive. How did the ancient Egyptians, with limited tools and resources, manage to move stones weighing upwards of 70 tons with such precision and accuracy? The answer, it seems, is still hidden somewhere in the sands of time. But it is not just the engineering feats that make the pyramids so mysterious. There's also the question of their purpose. While it is generally accepted that the pyramids were tombs for the pharaohs, there is much debate about the symbolic and spiritual significance behind their design. The alignment of the pyramids with the cardinal directions, the positioning of the entrance, and the intricate passages inside all suggest a deep knowledge of astronomy and the cosmos. The Egyptians had a sophisticated understanding of the stars, and many believe that the pyramids were designed with specific celestial alignments in mind, possibly to help the pharaohs ascend to the afterlife. The Great Pyramid itself is aligned with such precision that it is almost perfectly oriented to the cardinal points of the compass: north, south, east, and west. The error in alignment is so minuscule that it is almost imperceptible, leading some to speculate that the Egyptians had a far more advanced understanding of geography and astronomy than we have traditionally given them credit for. The shafts inside the pyramid, for example, are aligned with certain stars in the night sky, such as the star Alnitak in the Orion constellation, which was closely associated with the ancient Egyptian god Osiris, the god of the afterlife. The idea that these shafts were designed to help guide the pharaoh's soul on its journey to the heavens further complicates the conventional narrative of the pyramids as mere tombs. In addition to their astronomical significance, the pyramids are also thought to embody profound mathematical knowledge. The proportions of the Great Pyramid are closely tied to the mathematical constant pi symbol, and the golden ratio, phi, two key principles that are fundamental to geometry and design. The fact that these ratios appear in the dimensions of the pyramid has led some to speculate that the Egyptians were privy to advanced mathematical principles that were not fully understood until much later in history. Was this knowledge handed down from a lost civilization? Or could the Egyptians have developed it independently, building upon a body of ancient wisdom that has been lost to time? Adding to the mystery is the fact that the pyramids were not constructed in isolation. The surrounding Giza Plateau contains other pyramids, smaller but equally impressive in their design, as well as the enigmatic Sphinx, a massive statue with the body of a lion and the face of a pharaoh. The Sphinx, like the pyramids, has been the subject of much debate and speculation. Some researchers have proposed that the Sphinx was originally built much earlier than the traditional timeline suggests, possibly during an era of Egyptian prehistory. The erosion patterns on its body, which show signs of water damage, have led some to theorize that the Sphinx may have been built thousands of years before the pyramids, perhaps during a time when the climate of Egypt was markedly different. Could the Sphinx be a remnant of an even older civilization, one that predates the rise of the pharaohs? Furthermore, there is the mystery of how the pyramids were constructed with such extraordinary precision. The blocks used in the Great Pyramid are so perfectly cut and fitted together that even a piece of paper cannot slip between them. Modern construction methods, even with the aid of heavy machinery, would struggle to replicate such precision. Theories abound about how the Egyptians achieved this level of craftsmanship, but no one has been able to definitively explain it. Some suggest that the ancient builders used copper tools, but copper is a relatively soft metal, and it is hard to imagine how it could have been used to cut and shape stones so precisely. Other theories propose the use of more advanced materials or technologies, but these ideas remain speculative at best. The mystery deepens when we consider the logistics of the construction process. The sheer number of workers required to build the pyramids would have been staggering. Estimates suggest that tens of thousands of laborers would have been involved. Yet, despite the scale of the project, no definitive records exist detailing how the pyramids were constructed. The ancient Egyptians left behind detailed records of their religious practices, daily life, and even their military exploits, but there is a conspicuous absence of any detailed accounts of the pyramid building process itself. Could it be that the construction of the pyramids was deliberately shrouded in secrecy, perhaps due to its sacred nature? Or is it simply that the methods used were so extraordinary that they defied explanation? Another intriguing aspect of the pyramids is the way they have influenced modern culture and thought. Throughout history, the pyramids have been seen as symbols of mystery, power, and immortality. The very idea that such colossal monuments could have been built with such precision and scale has sparked the imagination of countless people. From early explorers to modern-day scientists, the pyramids have captivated those who seek to unlock the secrets of the past. They have inspired myths, legends, and even entire schools of thought about the origins of civilization. Some have even suggested that the pyramids are the remnants of a lost, ancient civilization, one that possessed knowledge far beyond what we can even begin to understand. This idea of lost knowledge has led some to consider more esoteric theories. Could the pyramids be the product of an advanced civilization that existed long before the Egyptians? Some suggest that the pyramids are the remains of a global network of ancient builders, perhaps with knowledge passed down through secret societies or preserved in forgotten texts. Others have gone so far as to propose that extraterrestrial beings may have been involved in the construction of the pyramids, based on their sheer scale and precision. While these theories are often dismissed by mainstream scholars, they nonetheless add to the aura of mystery surrounding these ancient monuments. As we stand before the Great Pyramids today, we are reminded of how much we still do not know about the ancient world. Despite the advances of modern archaeology and technology, the question of how the pyramids were built and why they were constructed remains unanswered. The pyramids continue to stand as a testament to the ingenuity and mystery of the ancient Egyptians, and their secrets, whether lost in time or deliberately hidden, continue to elude our understanding. Perhaps, in the end, it is not the answers that matter most, but the questions themselves. The Great Pyramids of Giza stand not only as a symbol of ancient power, but as an enduring mystery, inviting us to look deeper into the past and ponder the secrets that may never be revealed. For centuries, the legend of Atlantis has captured the imagination of dreamers, philosophers, and scholars alike. The story of this advanced, mysterious civilization has been passed down through ancient texts, folklore, and even modern theories, but the question persists. Was Atlantis a real place, or is it simply a myth, an allegorical tale crafted by the philosopher Plato to teach moral lessons? The debate surrounding Atlantis is one of the most enduring mysteries in the world, one that challenges our understanding of ancient history and the possibility of lost civilizations. It is a story that blurs the line between fact and fiction, inviting us to wonder whether the answers may lie just beneath the surface of the ocean, or whether Atlantis is forever destined to remain a part of the human imagination. The origins of the Atlantis myth can be traced back to the works of the Greek philosopher Plato, who first introduced the story in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias around 360 BCE. According to Plato, Atlantis was a powerful and technologically advanced island nation located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, which we now know as the Strait of Gibraltar. He described Atlantis as a utopian society, flourishing in wealth, culture, and military prowess. The Atlanteans were said to have a deep understanding of engineering, architecture, and even navigation, which allowed them to conquer much of the known world. Yet, despite their achievements, Atlantis eventually fell into corruption and moral decline. As a result, the gods punished the Atlanteans by causing their island to sink into the ocean, disappearing without a trace. Plato's tale was dramatic, captivating, and filled with symbolism. Atlantis, as he described it, was an island of incredible beauty, with grand palaces, lush gardens, and enormous temples dedicated to the gods. The island was said to be rich in resources, with vast amounts of gold, silver, and other precious materials. The capital city of Atlantis was designed with geometric precision, with concentric rings of water and land, making it not only a marvel of engineering, but a symbol of divine order. At the height of its power, Atlantis was said to be a beacon of civilization, a shining example of what could be achieved when humans lived in harmony with the gods and nature. Yet, despite its advanced culture, Atlantis was ultimately destroyed due to its people's arrogance and moral decay. As the Atlanteans became more greedy, selfish, and warlike, they angered the gods, who decided to punish them by causing a cataclysmic event. According to Plato, the island of Atlantis was swallowed by the sea, vanishing into the depths of the ocean in a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods. The tale of Atlantis' sudden and dramatic fall has resonated through the ages, inspiring countless theories about the city's true nature and whether it ever existed at all. The question of Atlantis' existence has been a subject of debate for centuries. Some scholars argue that Plato's account was merely an allegory, a cautionary tale meant to illustrate the dangers of moral decline and hubris. In this view, Atlantis was never meant to be a real place, but a fictional story created to convey a moral lesson about the fragility of great civilizations. The idea that a powerful, advanced society could rise to such heights only to fall into ruin due to its own flaws was a powerful metaphor for Plato, one that resonated with his concerns about the state of Greek society at the time. However, many people throughout history have refused to dismiss Plato's tale as mere fiction. Some have argued that Plato's description of Atlantis may have been based on real events, though the details have been distorted over time. For example, some have suggested that the story of Atlantis could be inspired by the Minoan civilization, an ancient culture that thrived on the island of Crete around 1600 BCE. The Minoans were known for their advanced technology, architecture, and art, and their civilization suddenly collapsed after the eruption of the Thera volcano, which caused massive tsunamis and widespread destruction. This event, which left no trace of the Minoan capital city of Knossos, could have been the inspiration for Plato's story of Atlantis' sudden disappearance. In addition to the Minoans, other theories have suggested that Atlantis may have been based on the story of real cities or civilizations that were lost to history. Some researchers have pointed to the ancient city of Troy, which was long thought to be a myth until its discovery by archaeologist Heinrich Schliemann in the 19th century. The parallels between the legendary city of Troy and Plato's Atlantis, both being powerful, ancient cities that eventually succumbed to destruction, have led some to speculate that Atlantis may have been a composite of several different lost cities, rather than one singular, fictional place. In the centuries following Plato's writings, the tale of Atlantis became increasingly embedded in popular culture, with various explorers and theorists attempting to locate the lost city. The search for Atlantis has become almost as legendary as the story itself, with numerous locations around the world proposed as the site of the fabled island. Some have suggested that Atlantis was located in the Mediterranean Sea, possibly near the Greek islands of Santorini or Crete. Others have pointed to the Caribbean, the Bermuda Triangle, or even Antarctica as possible locations for Atlantis, citing mysterious underwater structures or ancient maps that hint at the existence of a lost civilization beneath the waves. The modern fascination with Atlantis reached its peak in the 20th century, when the idea of a lost, advanced civilization became a popular subject in pseudo-archaeology and fringe theories. Writers like Edgar Cayce, the famous psychic, claimed to have received visions of Atlantis, describing it as a technologically advanced society with flying machines, energy crystals, and other futuristic inventions. This vision of Atlantis as a high-tech civilization, far beyond the capabilities of ancient societies, has captured the imagination of countless people, despite the lack of concrete evidence. While no definitive proof of Atlantis' existence has ever been found, there are some intriguing pieces of evidence that continue to fuel speculation. Underwater exploration has uncovered a number of mysterious structures and formations that some believe may be remnants of an ancient civilization. One of the most famous examples is the Bimini Road, an underwater formation off the coast of the Bahamas that some claim resembles a man-made road or path. Although mainstream archaeologists argue that it is a natural geological formation, others believe it could be the remains of a long-lost city that sank into the ocean thousands of years ago. In addition to the Bimini Road, other underwater ruins have been discovered in places like the coast of Japan, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Caribbean, sparking theories that these could be remnants of Atlantis or similar lost civilizations. While many of these discoveries have been debunked or attributed to natural causes, they still add to the mystique surrounding the Atlantis legend. The idea that there could be cities buried beneath the ocean, waiting to be rediscovered, has a powerful allure, and it continues to inspire explorers and treasure hunters to seek the truth. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the story of Atlantis continues to resonate with people around the world. It represents more than just a lost civilization. It embodies the idea of a forgotten golden age, a time when humanity was at its peak, only to fall into ruin due to its own flaws. This story is not just about a city that sank into the ocean. It is about the rise and fall of civilizations, the fragility of human achievement, and the consequences of moral decline. The tale of Atlantis serves as a reminder that no matter how great a civilization becomes, it can always be undone by its own weaknesses. The mystery of Atlantis remains unsolved, and whether the city ever existed or not may never be known. Yet the legend persists, passed down through the ages as a symbol of both human potential and human folly. Perhaps it is not the truth of Atlantis that matters, but the lessons it teaches us. In the end, Atlantis represents something much deeper than a physical place. It represents the eternal human quest for knowledge, the longing to understand our origins, and the realization that, like Atlantis, even the greatest civilizations can be lost to time. The Nazca Lines, etched into the arid desert of southern Peru, represent one of the most enigmatic and awe-inspiring wonders of the ancient world. These vast geoglyphs, visible only from the sky, have puzzled archaeologists, historians, and scientists for over a century. The sheer scale and precision of the lines, which stretch across an area of over 50 square miles, are astounding, yet their purpose and meaning remain a mystery. How could the ancient Nazca people, who lived between 500 BCE and 500 CE, have created these enormous designs without the ability to view them from above? Were the Nazca Lines simply an artistic expression, or do they hold a deeper, more profound significance that we have yet to comprehend? The mystery of the Nazca Lines is one that continues to captivate the imagination, sparking debates about ancient technology, extraterrestrial involvement, and the cultural practices of civilization lost to time. The Nazca Lines consist of more than 800 straight lines, 300 geometric shapes, and 70 animal and plant figures, some of which are several hundred feet in length. These intricate designs depict a wide variety of creatures, including a monkey, a spider, a hummingbird, and a whale, as well as geometric patterns such as spirals and trapezoids. The sheer complexity of the designs raises immediate questions about how they were created, especially given the limited technology available to the Nazca people at the time. The most perplexing aspect of the Nazca lines, however, is that they can only be fully appreciated from the air. From the ground, the lines appear as simple markings on the earth, but when viewed from an aerial perspective, the full grandeur of the designs comes into focus. This presents a curious dilemma. How could the Nazca, with no known means of flight, have constructed these massive patterns with such precision if they were unable to view them from above? One of the most widely accepted theories is that the Nazca people used simple tools to create the lines by scraping away the reddish-brown topsoil to reveal the lighter, whitish earth beneath. The process would have been labor-intensive, but not beyond the capabilities of the Nazca. What remains unclear, however, is why they chose to create these massive designs in such a remote and isolated location. What could have been the motivation behind such an effort? The most widely accepted explanation is that the lines had some sort of religious or spiritual significance. It is believed that the lines were created as offerings to the gods, intended to gain favor or to mark sacred sites. The designs may have been part of ritualistic ceremonies or spiritual practices tied to the agricultural cycles, as the region's harsh climate made farming a challenge. The idea is that the lines, by aligning with certain celestial events or constellations, were a form of communication with the gods, a way to ensure divine intervention in the fertility of the land. Some scholars propose that the lines were designed to align with the movements of the stars, the sun, and the moon. The Nazca people were likely keenly aware of the celestial bodies and their influence on agricultural cycles, as the timing of planting and harvesting would have been critical to their survival in the desert. The lines may have acted as a form of astronomical observatory, guiding the Nazca through the seasons and helping them align their rituals with cosmic events. In this view, the lines served as a kind of celestial calendar, connecting the earthly and divine realms in a way that ensured the prosperity of the people. The designs of animals, too, may have had symbolic importance, with each creature representing different gods, spiritual forces, or aspects of nature that were important to the Nazca belief system. Another compelling theory suggests that the Nazca lines were designed for ceremonial purposes. The lines could have served as a type of pilgrimage route, guiding participants in religious ceremonies or festivals to specific sites of spiritual significance. Some of the lines appear to lead to important locations, such as water sources or ceremonial centers, suggesting that they may have been part of an elaborate system of rituals designed to invoke blessings or protection from the gods. The lines could have been pathways for the Nazca people to follow during their religious observances, marking sacred territory in the vast desert landscape. This would explain why the lines are so extensive, as they could have been part of an intricate system of sacred geography that connected various ceremonial sites throughout the region. However, these theories, while intriguing, do not fully explain why the Nazca people would have gone to such extraordinary lengths to create these designs in a place where they could not be seen by those who made them. This question has led to more unconventional theories, some of which suggest that the Nazca lines were created to be seen by beings from another world. One of the most widely circulated speculative theories is that the lines were created as a message or landing strip for extraterrestrial visitors. This theory is fueled by the fact that the designs are so vast and geometric that they appear to be intended for aerial observation. Could it be that the Nazca people were somehow in contact with alien visitors? Or perhaps they built the lines in anticipation of future contact? While there is no evidence to support the idea of extraterrestrial involvement, the mystery of the line's purpose continues to invite such fantastical explanations. Another theory that has gained some traction is the idea that the lines were created to be visible to the gods themselves. In this view, the lines were intended not just for human use, but to be seen by divine beings, possibly as a form of prayer or offering. This theory is supported by the fact that many of the figures in the desert, such as the large spider and the hummingbird, are associated with deities or mythological creatures in Nazca culture. The Nazca people may have believed that by creating such colossal designs, they could attract the attention of their gods and, through their religious practices, ensure their protection and prosperity. The idea of making a grand gesture to the gods by creating such an enormous, visible mark on the earth speaks to the Nazca's reverence for the divine and their desire to communicate with forces beyond the physical realm. There is also the possibility that the Nazca lines served a more pragmatic purpose, acting as a form of navigation or territorial markers. Some researchers have suggested that the lines could have been used by travelers or traders to find their way across the desert, with the patterns acting as landmarks in an otherwise featureless landscape. Given the harsh environment of the Nazca Desert, where landmarks are scarce and the terrain is unforgiving, the lines may have provided an important tool for survival, guiding people to key locations such as water sources, trade routes, or settlements. In this interpretation, the lines were not merely ceremonial or spiritual, but practical tools designed to help the Nazca navigate their challenging environment. Despite the many theories surrounding the Nazca lines, one of the most persistent and perplexing questions remains. Why did the Nazca choose to create these massive, intricate patterns in the first place? Was it an expression of religious devotion, a way to communicate with the divine or the cosmos? Or was it an attempt to create a lasting legacy, a visible mark on the land that would endure for centuries, reminding future generations of their civilization's existence? The answer is still elusive, and the mystery surrounding the lines only deepens as more research is conducted. Today, the Nazca lines continue to draw researchers and tourists from around the world, each seeking to unlock the secrets of these ancient designs. Despite the challenges of studying the lines, many of which are located in a remote and often difficult-to-access part of the desert, new discoveries continue to emerge. In recent years, modern technology, such as satellite imaging and drone surveys, has revealed new patterns and designs that were previously hidden from view. These technological advances have allowed researchers to uncover additional geoglyphs and further investigate the purpose and significance of the lines. Yet, despite these advances, the full meaning of the Nazca lines remains a mystery. The Nazca lines, with their vast scale and intricate designs, continue to stand as a testament to the ingenuity and mystery of an ancient civilization. Whether they were created for spiritual, practical, or symbolic purposes, their existence challenges our understanding of the ancient world and the capabilities of the people who built them. As the lines continue to weather the passage of time, they remain a poignant reminder of the mysteries that lie buried beneath the surface of history, waiting for us to uncover them. Scattered across the jungles of Costa Rica, nestled between the dense foliage and the thick undergrowth, lie some of the most mysterious and unexplained artifacts in the world, the stone spheres of Costa Rica. These perfectly round, polished balls, some reaching over 6 feet in diameter and weighing several tons, have baffled archaeologists, geologists, and historians since their discovery. How could a prehistoric civilization, with limited tools and resources, have created these intricate spheres with such precision and uniformity? What purpose did these enigmatic stones serve, and why were they placed in seemingly deliberate patterns across the landscape? Despite decades of study, the true story behind the stone spheres remains shrouded in mystery, prompting a range of theories about their origins, significance, and the lost civilization that may have crafted them. The stone spheres, known as las esferas in Spanish, are primarily found on the Diquis Delta in southern Costa Rica. They are made of a type of limestone known as calcareous sandstone, and they are thought to have been shaped by ancient peoples who lived in the region as early as 600 CE, though some estimates push their creation back to around 1000 BCE. These spherical stones vary in size, with the largest measuring over 2 meters in diameter and weighing several tons. Despite their size, the spheres are remarkably symmetrical, and many of them are so perfectly round that they appear to have been crafted using advanced tools or technology. The precision of these spheres has led some to question whether the indigenous peoples of the region had access to technology far beyond what we believe they possessed. The most intriguing aspect of the stone spheres is their deliberate arrangement. The spheres are not scattered haphazardly across the landscape, but are found in carefully planned clusters, some of which are aligned with one another. In some cases, the spheres appear to form lines, circles, or other geometric patterns, leading to speculation that they were part of a larger cultural or religious system. Many of the spheres were discovered in or near ancient settlements, suggesting they may have been part of a larger ceremonial or religious complex. The placement of the spheres, along with their striking resemblance to other ancient objects found in cultures around the world, such as the giant stone balls of the Easter Island statues, suggests that they may have had a symbolic or ritualistic purpose. One of the most compelling theories about the sphere's purpose is that they were used as markers of power or social status. In this interpretation, the spheres may have been symbols of prestige, placed at the center of elite settlements or ceremonial centers. The size and quality of the stones could have been a reflection of the wealth or influence of the people who commissioned their creation. Some researchers have proposed that the spheres were used in a form of social competition, with different groups or tribes creating ever larger and more intricate spheres as a way of asserting dominance. The spheres may have also been used in ritualistic or sacrificial ceremonies, marking the boundaries of sacred spaces or guiding people through specific spiritual or religious rites. Other theories suggest that the stone spheres had astronomical or calendrical significance. The indigenous peoples of the Dequas Delta were known to have had a sophisticated understanding of the stars, the cycles of the moon, and the movements of the sun. It is possible that the spheres were placed in alignment with celestial events or used as markers for the solstices, equinoxes, or other important astronomical dates. Some researchers have speculated that the arrangement of the spheres may have been part of a larger, sacred landscape designed to align with celestial phenomena, helping the people of the region track time and plan their agricultural and religious activities. If the spheres were part of an ancient astronomical system, they could have served as physical representations of the relationship between the earth, the heavens, and the divine. Perhaps the most sensational theory surrounding the stone spheres is the idea that they were created by an ancient, lost civilization with knowledge far beyond the capabilities of the cultures we traditionally associate with the region. Some have speculated that the spheres were not created by indigenous peoples at all, but were the work of a long-lost civilization that possessed advanced technology and a deep understanding of mathematics, geometry, and engineering. According to this theory, the civilization responsible for the spheres may have been part of a global network of ancient cultures, each with its own advanced knowledge and technology. This theory has been popularized by proponents of ancient astronaut theory, who suggest that extraterrestrial beings may have helped these ancient cultures create their technological marvels. While there is no direct evidence to support the theory of an advanced lost civilization, the sheer scale and precision of the stone spheres continue to raise questions. How could ancient peoples, without the benefit of metal tools or modern technology, have created such uniform, intricate shapes? The lack of written records or detailed archaeological evidence from the time further adds to the mystery. It's possible that the answers lie buried beneath the earth, waiting to be uncovered by future archaeological digs, or that the true significance of the spheres is simply beyond our current understanding. One of the most puzzling aspects of the stone spheres is their construction. While the material used to create the spheres, calcareous sandstone, is relatively abundant in the region, the method by which the spheres were shaped is still unclear. The stones appear to have been carved or shaped using a combination of abrasion, grinding, and possibly the use of fire, although no definitive evidence has been found to explain the process. Some researchers have suggested that the spheres may have been crafted by first carving rough blocks of stone and then using water, sand, or other materials to smooth and round them into shape. Others believe that the spheres were created using an advanced technique, such as casting or molding, although there is no evidence to suggest that the ancient people of Costa Rica possessed such technology. Adding to the mystery is the fact that the majority of the stone spheres were discovered in the 1930s, when workers conducting land clearing operations in the area stumbled upon them. Since then, many of the spheres have been removed from their original locations, and some have been displayed in museums or private collections around the world. As a result, many of the spheres that remain in Costa Rica are scattered across the landscape, and their original context and significance are difficult to determine. Despite this, the stone spheres remain an enduring symbol of the unknown and the unexplained. Theories about the sphere's origins and purpose continue to evolve as new discoveries are made and new technologies are employed. Recent archaeological research has focused on the relationship between the spheres and the surrounding landscape, looking for patterns in their placement that might shed light on their cultural or religious significance. In particular, studies of the ancient settlements around the Dequis Delta have revealed a wealth of information about the social and political structures of the people who lived there, and some researchers believe that the spheres were part of an elaborate system of social control, marking the boundaries of powerful clans or ruling elites. Despite the many theories and the ongoing research, the stone spheres of Costa Rica remain one of the great unsolved mysteries of the ancient world. They continue to provoke questions about the capabilities of ancient cultures, the role of symbolism in early societies, and the nature of human creativity and ingenuity. As researchers continue to explore their origins and purpose, the spheres will likely remain a symbol of the mysteries that still lie hidden beneath the surface of history, waiting to be uncovered. Whether they were markers of power, tools for astronomical observation, or relics of a lost civilization, the stone spheres stand as a testament to the enduring enigma of the past, a mystery that continues to captivate and inspire. Easter Island, or Rapa Nui, is a remote, windswept speck of land in the Pacific Ocean, famous for its iconic stone statues known as the moai. These monolithic figures, which number over 800, stand in solemn silence, gazing out toward the horizon as they have for centuries. The moai statues are perhaps the most visible and famous relics of the ancient Rapa Nui civilization, but they also represent one of the greatest mysteries of the ancient world. How did the Rapa Nui people, with limited resources and technology, create such massive statues? What purpose did they serve, and what led to the eventual downfall of the civilization that created them? The moai statues are not just impressive feats of engineering. They're symbols of a lost culture, a culture that, for all its accomplishments, met with an ecological collapse that left it struggling to survive. The moai statues are made of volcanic tuff, a relatively soft stone found in the quarry of Reno Raraku, the volcanic crater on Easter Island where the statues were carved. They are characterized by large heads, often considered the most significant part of the statues, with exaggerated facial features such as large noses, deep-set eyes, and prominent chins. While the moai vary in size, some reach up to 30 feet in height and weigh over 80 tons. The sheer scale of these statues is staggering, and yet the Rapa Nui people, without the aid of metal tools or advanced technology, managed to carve and transport these immense statues across the island, placing them atop platforms known as ahu. But how did they achieve such an extraordinary feat? The mystery of how the moai statues were transported has sparked numerous theories over the years. One of the most widely accepted explanations involves the use of a complex system of ropes and manpower. According to this theory, the Rapa Nui people would have used ropes to walk the statues upright, using a coordinated system of pulling and balancing the moai as they were moved from the quarry to their designated platforms. While this theory is plausible, it remains speculative, as there is no definitive evidence to support it. Some researchers argue that the moai could have been moved by rolling them on logs or dragging them across the ground, though these methods would have been far less efficient than the walking technique. Another theory suggests that the moai were not merely static monuments, but part of an elaborate cultural and religious system that tied the statues to the spiritual beliefs of the Rapa Nui people. The statues are believed to represent important ancestors or deities, and their positioning and orientation are thought to be connected to the worship of these figures. The moai were typically placed on platforms, ahu, that were aligned with celestial events, such as the sun's movement during the solstices. This alignment suggests that the Moai may have had an astronomical or ritualistic function, serving as markers for important religious ceremonies or festivals. The heads of the Moai are often oriented toward the villages, symbolizing the ancestors' watchful eyes over the living, offering protection and guidance. The construction and placement of the Moai were not just feats of engineering. They were also deeply entwined with the social, political, and religious life of the Rapa Nui people. The Moai were carved by skilled artisans who worked under the direction of tribal leaders, and each statue was associated with a particular clan or family. The number and size of the Moai built by a clan were often a reflection of the clan's power and status within the society. The larger and more intricately crafted the statue, the greater the clan's influence. This social stratification may have contributed to the eventual downfall of the Rapa Nui civilization, as competition between clans to build larger statues may have strained the island's limited resources, leading to deforestation and ecological collapse. The Moai statues also raise questions about the nature of Easter Island's ancient society. How could a society that produced such remarkable works of art and engineering also experience such rapid decline? The Rapa Nui civilization, once thriving with a complex social structure and a rich cultural life, eventually collapsed under the weight of environmental degradation and internal strife. The key factor in this collapse was deforestation. The Rapa Nui people, like many other ancient civilizations, relied heavily on the natural resources around them. As the population grew, so did the demand for resources such as wood, which was used for building, fuel, and the transport of the Moai statues. Over time, the island's forests were depleted, leading to soil erosion, loss of agricultural productivity, and a diminishing ability to sustain the population. The deforestation of Easter Island was likely exacerbated by the introduction of the Polynesian rat, which was brought to the island by the first settlers. The rats, which preyed on the seeds of palm trees, accelerated the island's ecological decline, making it even more difficult for the Rapa Nui people to recover from their environmental damage. By the time European explorers arrived in the 18th century, Easter Island was largely deforested, and the once thriving society had been reduced to a fraction of its former population. The Moai statues, once symbols of power and reverence, were left abandoned and toppled, their gazes turned toward the sky as if watching over a broken world. The fall of the Rapa Nui civilization is a cautionary tale, one that reflects the dangers of overexploiting natural resources and failing to recognize the limits of the environment. The story of the Moai statues, with their grand scale and artistic achievements, is intertwined with the rise and fall of the island's inhabitants, highlighting the fragility of civilizations that fail to live in balance with the natural world. The Moai stand as silent witnesses to this collapse, reminders of a time when the island was vibrant and full of life, and a warning about the costs of unsustainable growth and resource depletion. Despite the fall of the Rapa Nui civilization, the Moai statues continue to captivate the world. They are a testament to human creativity and determination, to a society that managed to carve and transport massive stone figures using only the most basic of tools. The Moai stand as symbols of both the brilliance and the hubris of the Rapa Nui people, who believed that their ancestors could protect them from harm, even as they unknowingly hastened their own decline. Today, the Moai are not only an important cultural and archaeological treasure, but also a symbol of the enduring mystery of Easter Island itself, a place where the past, the present, and the future intersect, and where the lessons of history continue to resonate across the centuries. Easter Island remains a place of profound silence and mystery, with its Moai statues standing as the last silent witnesses to a culture that, in its search for greatness, ultimately paid the price for its excesses. The statues' gazes remain fixed on the horizon, as if waiting for answers to the questions that still elude us. How did the Rapa Nui people create these statues? What were the Moai's true purpose? And what happened to the once great civilization that built them? Though the answers may be lost to time, the Moai continue to inspire awe and wonder, standing as a powerful symbol of both the triumph and tragedy of Easter Island's ancient past. The lost Library of Alexandria is often considered one of the greatest tragedies in the history of human civilization. It was more than just a collection of scrolls and books. It was the heart of ancient intellectual life, a beacon of knowledge that brought together scholars, philosophers, mathematicians, and scientists from across the ancient world. The library, located in the Egyptian city of Alexandria, was founded in the 3rd century BCE by Ptolemy II Philadelphus, and it quickly grew to become the largest and most significant library of the ancient world. It was home to hundreds of thousands of texts, many of which contained the accumulated knowledge of entire civilizations. But today, the library is lost to history, its contents destroyed in a series of tragic events that have left the world with nothing but fragmented accounts of its existence. What happened to the Library of Alexandria? What secrets did it contain? And what has been lost with its destruction? The Library of Alexandria was founded during the reign of Ptolemy II, the Greek ruler of Egypt, who sought to create a center of learning that would rival the great intellectual hubs of Athens and other Greek cities. The library was part of the larger Museum of Alexandria, an institute dedicated to the muses and the pursuit of knowledge. Scholars from all over the Mediterranean came to Alexandria to study and conduct research, and the library quickly became a symbol of intellectual achievement. The collection housed works on every known subject: literature, philosophy, mathematics, astronomy, medicine, history, and more. It was said to have included works by some of the greatest thinkers of the time, including Homer, Plato, Aristotle, and Euclid, as well as many other texts that have been lost to history. The library's contents were not only vast, but also eclectic. It was a collection of knowledge from many different cultures, including Greek, Egyptian, Persian, Indian, and Hebrew. The library's goal was not just to preserve knowledge, but to bring together the wisdom of the ancient world in a single location, creating a repository of human understanding. The library's importance cannot be overstated. It was a place where ideas could be exchanged and knowledge could be shared, and it played a crucial role in advancing science, philosophy, and literature in the ancient world. The scholars who worked in the library conducted groundbreaking research in fields like geometry, astronomy, and medicine, laying the foundations for much of Western thought. However, the fate of the Library of Alexandria is shrouded in mystery, and much of what we know about its destruction is based on legend, rumor, and fragmented historical accounts. The library is said to have suffered multiple blows over the centuries, each one contributing to its eventual loss. The first blow to the library came during the Roman conquest of Alexandria in 48 BCE. According to some accounts, Julius Caesar's forces set fire to the city's harbor, and the flames spread to the library, destroying a significant portion of its collection. This is the most widely accepted theory of the library's first major destruction, although some historians argue that the fire may have only destroyed a portion of the library and that other parts of the collection were saved. The library may have been partially restored after this initial disaster, but its fate was not sealed by the Romans alone. The second blow came during the reign of Emperor Theodosius I in the 4th century CE, when the Roman Empire became increasingly Christian. The library, which housed texts from many different religious traditions, was seen as a symbol of pagan knowledge, and in 391 CE, Theodosius ordered the destruction of the Serapeum, the temple that housed the remaining books and scrolls of the library. This event marked the final destruction of what remained of the library's collection, though it is unclear how much of the library had survived by this point. There are also later accounts that suggest the library may have suffered additional damage during the Arab conquest of Alexandria in the 7th century. Some claim that the library was destroyed by the invading forces, but historical evidence for this event is sparse and often speculative. Some scholars argue that the library may have already been in decline by this time, its collections scattered or destroyed by earlier events. Regardless of the exact circumstances, the result was the same. The Library of Alexandria, once the greatest repository of knowledge in the ancient world, disappeared, and much of its vast collection was lost to history. The destruction of the Library of Alexandria is often seen as a metaphor for the fragility of knowledge and the transient nature of human achievement. The loss of such a vast and comprehensive collection of texts is tragic, not only because of the cultural and intellectual heritage it represented, but also because it left a gap in human understanding that would not be filled for centuries. Many of the works housed in the library were unique, and it is likely that the knowledge they contained was never fully recovered. For centuries, scholars have wondered what ideas, discoveries, and insights were lost in the flames of the Library of Alexandria. Did it contain lost works of ancient science and philosophy? Did it hold knowledge that could have advanced human understanding by centuries, if not millennia? The lost library has come to symbolize the loss of ancient wisdom, and its destruction continues to haunt our imagination. One of the most tantalizing questions about the Library of Alexandria is what it may have contained that we have never seen. Some historians have speculated that the library housed texts on advanced mathematics and engineering, perhaps even lost technologies that could have changed the course of history. It has been suggested that the library might have contained works on steam power, electricity, or even concepts of flight, ideas that would not resurface until the modern era. Others believe that the library may have contained esoteric or mystical texts, such as ancient religious or philosophical writings that could have changed the course of spiritual thought. One of the greatest mysteries surrounding the Library of Alexandria is whether it contained ancient knowledge from other civilizations that has since been lost. Some have speculated that the library housed works from civilizations that predated ancient Greece, including Sumerian, Babylonian, or Egyptian texts that have not survived in other forms. It is possible that the library contained knowledge about early astronomy, mathematics, and engineering that was passed down through the ages, only to be lost in the fires of history. The possibility that the library contained records of ancient civilizations, long since forgotten, adds an additional layer of intrigue to its destruction. Despite the tragic loss, the legacy of the Library of Alexandria continues to influence modern scholarship and intellectual life. The library was an early attempt to compile and preserve the knowledge of the ancient world, and in many ways, it set the stage for the development of modern libraries and academic institutions. The idea of creating a comprehensive repository of human knowledge, one that could serve as a hub for learning, research, and intellectual exchange, remains a central tenet of education and academia today. The quest for knowledge that the Library of Alexandria embodied continues to drive scientific and scholarly pursuits, and the library's influence can be seen in the vast collections of books, manuscripts, and digital archives that exist in the world today. Though the Library of Alexandria is lost, its spirit endures. It stands as a reminder of the power of knowledge and the importance of preserving the intellectual achievements of humanity. Its destruction may have been a devastating blow to the ancient world, but its legacy lives on in the libraries, archives, and institutions that continue to collect, protect, and share the knowledge of the human race. The lost library is not just a symbol of what we have lost, but also a reminder of the enduring power of the written word, the pursuit of knowledge, and the hope that, one day, the ideas of the past might illuminate the path to a better future. The pyramids of Giza stand as enduring monuments to the genius and mystery of ancient Egypt. Erected over 4,500 years ago, these colossal structures have fascinated generations of historians, archaeologists, and scholars. The Great Pyramid of Giza, the largest and most famous of the three pyramids, was once the tallest man-made structure in the world and remains one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. Despite centuries of study, the true purpose, methods of construction, and the mysteries surrounding these enigmatic structures continue to elude us. Were the pyramids simply grand tombs for pharaohs, or do they hold deeper secrets that have yet to be uncovered? The pyramids of Giza are more than just the tombs of ancient rulers. They are symbols of the ingenuity of the ancient Egyptians and the countless mysteries that continue to surround their creation. The pyramids of Giza were built during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom of Egypt, roughly between 2580 and 2560 BCE. The three main pyramids were constructed for the pharaohs Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, with the Great Pyramid, the Pyramid of Khufu, being the largest and most famous. The exact methods used to construct the pyramids have long been a subject of debate. It is widely accepted that thousands of workers, skilled laborers, and slaves, though the latter is still debated, were employed to cut, transport, and position the massive stone blocks that make up the pyramids. The blocks themselves weigh several tons each, and some weigh as much as 80 tons. The logistics of moving and placing such massive stones without the aid of modern machinery seem almost impossible, leading to numerous theories about how the ancient Egyptians could have achieved such a feat. One popular theory suggests that ramps were used to transport the stone blocks up the sides of the pyramids. Some believe that straight or zigzagging ramps were built to carry the massive stones to the top of the pyramid. Others propose that a spiral ramp, built around the exterior of the pyramid, could have been used to lift the stones into place. The complexity of the construction and the sheer number of workers required to complete the pyramids would have necessitated an extensive system of organization, planning, and labor management, making the construction of the pyramids not just an architectural marvel, but a feat of logistical genius. The design and placement of the pyramids are equally fascinating. The Great Pyramid of Giza is aligned with remarkable precision to the cardinal points of the compass: north, south, east, and west, suggesting that the ancient Egyptians possessed an advanced understanding of geometry, astronomy, and engineering. In fact, the alignment of the pyramid with the stars, particularly the stars of the Orion Belt, has led some researchers to believe that the pyramids were not just tombs, but had an astronomical or religious significance. The ancient Egyptians associated the god Osiris with the constellation of Orion, and the alignment of the pyramids may have been designed to align with this celestial association. The idea that the pyramids were intended to serve as a gateway to the afterlife for the pharaohs, guiding them on their journey to join the gods and the stars, is one of the most enduring theories about their purpose. While the pyramid's alignment with the stars is a compelling theory, there are other interpretations of their function. Some scholars argue that the pyramids were built primarily as tombs for the pharaohs and their consorts, serving as a place for the ruler's body to rest in the afterlife. The chambers inside the pyramids were designed to hold the body of the pharaoh, along with offerings and treasures to sustain the king in the afterlife. These chambers were often sealed and hidden from the outside world, meant to protect the body from tomb robbers and ensure that the pharaoh's soul could make its journey into the next world. The Great Pyramid, in particular, is believed to have originally housed the sarcophagus of Khufu, though it was emptied long before modern archaeological exploration. The internal layout of the Great Pyramid, with its long, narrow corridors and intricate chambers, is equally mysterious. The king's chamber, where Khufu's sarcophagus was believed to have been placed, is positioned in the heart of the pyramid. The Grand Gallery, a large passageway leading to the chamber, is a marvel of engineering, with its corbelled ceiling and precise measurements. The so-called air shafts, which extend from the king's chamber and queen's chamber to the exterior of the pyramid, have long intrigued researchers. Some believe these shafts had an astronomical purpose, allowing the pharaoh's soul to ascend to the heavens. Others suggest that they may have been used for ventilation or as part of a more elaborate ritual. While the pyramids of Giza are widely understood to be royal tombs, they also represent a much broader cultural and religious significance. In ancient Egyptian cosmology, the pharaoh was seen as the intermediary between the gods and the people, and his death marked the transition to a divine afterlife. The pyramid, with its massive size and precise construction, symbolized the eternal nature of the pharaoh's soul and his journey to join the gods. The pyramid shape itself is believed to have had religious meaning. The pyramid's sloping sides were said to represent the rays of the sun, and the pharaoh's ascent to the afterlife was seen as a journey toward divine illumination. In this sense, the pyramids were not just tombs, but vast temples dedicated to the pharaoh's spiritual ascent. Despite extensive research, many aspects of the pyramids of Giza remain shrouded in mystery. One of the most enduring questions is how the ancient Egyptians were able to construct such massive structures with the limited tools available to them. The use of copper tools, which would have been inadequate for cutting through the hard limestone blocks, has led some to question whether other, more advanced technologies were used. Some fringe theories suggest that the pyramids were constructed using advanced lost technologies or even with the help of extraterrestrial beings. While these theories remain speculative and unsupported by evidence, they continue to capture the imagination of those fascinated by the mystery of the pyramids. In addition to the mystery of their construction, the pyramids have also given rise to numerous theories about their purpose. The notion that the pyramids were not just tombs, but part of a grander cosmic design, is an idea that has persisted for centuries. Some believe that the pyramids served as energy sources, harnessing the Earth's natural electromagnetic fields. Others suggest that they were part of a much larger network of structures designed to align with celestial bodies and create a harmonious relationship between the Earth and the cosmos. Whether these theories have any merit or not, they highlight the profound mystery of the pyramids and their place in the ancient Egyptian worldview. The pyramids of Giza continue to inspire awe and wonder, and they stand as a testament to the ingenuity, creativity, and mystery of the ancient Egyptians. The vast scale of the pyramids, their alignment with the stars, and the precision of their construction are all hallmarks of a civilization that understood the importance of both the physical and spiritual worlds. Despite the centuries that have passed since their construction, the pyramids remain a beacon of ancient knowledge, drawing visitors and researchers from around the world in search of answers. The mysteries of the pyramids may never be fully understood, but their enduring legacy as one of the greatest achievements of human civilization remains undeniable. Stonehenge, located on the windswept plains of southern England, has stood for millennia, an enduring testament to the ingenuity and mystery of the ancient world. Its towering stones, arranged in a precise, circular formation, have intrigued archaeologists, historians, and enthusiasts for centuries. What was the purpose of this mysterious monument? Who built it and how? The answers to these questions remain elusive, shrouded in the mists of time. Stonehenge is one of the most recognizable prehistoric sites in the world, but it also represents one of the most significant puzzles of ancient history. Though scholars have proposed a number of theories, the true meaning and purpose of Stonehenge continue to inspire debate and speculation. The monument's construction dates back to around 3000 BCE, with the earliest phase involving the creation of a large circular earthwork enclosure. This was followed by the erection of a series of massive standing stones, some of which weigh up to 25 tons. Over time, the site underwent further expansion and refinement, with additional stones added, and the stones were arranged in a precise circular layout. The arrangement of the stones, along with the alignment of the monument to certain celestial events, suggests that Stonehenge may have had a complex and multifaceted purpose, one that combined astronomical, religious, and cultural significance. One of the most intriguing features of Stonehenge is its alignment with the movements of the sun. The entrance to the site is oriented to the point on the horizon where the sun rises during the summer solstice. This alignment suggests that the monument may have been used as an astronomical observatory, allowing the ancient people who built it to track the changing seasons and celestial events. The summer solstice, in particular, holds great significance in many ancient cultures, symbolizing the triumph of light over darkness and the cyclical nature of life. The alignment of Stonehenge with this event suggests that it may have been a site of ritual significance, marking the passage of time and the changing of seasons. The precise method by which the massive stones were transported and erected remains one of the most enduring mysteries of Stonehenge. The stones, known as sarsens, were quarried from a location about 20 miles away from the site, while smaller stones called bluestones were brought from even further, around 150 miles away from the Preseli Hills in Wales. The sheer size and weight of these stones, combined with the lack of advanced tools or machinery in the Neolithic period, have led to numerous theories about how they could have been transported. Some suggest that the stones were rolled along logs or dragged across the ground using sledges, while others propose that they were floated across rivers and transported by water. Still, the complexity of the process, especially when considering the precision required to position the stones in such a deliberate arrangement, has led many to speculate that the builders possessed advanced knowledge of engineering, mechanics, and logistics far beyond what is typically attributed to prehistoric societies. Stonehenge's role as a ceremonial or religious site is another key aspect of its mystery. The monument is thought to have been constructed by a prehistoric people known as the Neolithic farmers, who lived in the British Isles long before the rise of the Celts or Romans. The builders of Stonehenge were part of a culture that valued communal effort, the spiritual connection to the land, and the observation of natural phenomena. It is likely that Stonehenge played a central role in the religious and cultural life of these people. Some theories suggest that the site was a place for ancestor worship, with the stones representing the spirits of the dead or the gods. Others believe that it may have been a site for healing, given the mystical properties attributed to the blue stones, which were thought to have curative powers. Recent research has suggested that Stonehenge may also have functioned as a burial site. Archaeologists have uncovered evidence of cremation burials at the site, and some scholars believe that the monument was used for the burial of important individuals, such as tribal leaders or religious figures. The alignment of the stones with celestial events could have reinforced the connection between the dead and the heavens, symbolizing the journey of the soul after death. The combination of burial, astronomical alignment, and religious ritual suggests that Stonehenge was more than just a structure. It was a sacred site that served as a focal point for the community's spiritual and cultural life. Another theory suggests that Stonehenge was built as a symbol of power and authority. The construction of such an elaborate monument would have required immense organization, resources, and labor. The very act of building Stonehenge would have signaled the importance of the community that constructed it, establishing their dominion over the surrounding lands. The site may have been a statement of collective effort and social cohesion, as well as a reflection of the religious and political power of the leaders who commissioned its construction. The monumental nature of the site would have impressed both locals and visitors alike, reinforcing the idea that the builders possessed the ability to command large groups of people and manipulate their environment on a grand scale. The possibility that Stonehenge served as a center for ritual feasting and social gatherings has also been suggested. Archaeological evidence has revealed the presence of large quantities of animal bones at nearby sites, suggesting that feasting may have been a regular part of life for those who visited the monument. The site's location on the Salisbury Plain was ideal for large gatherings and ceremonies. The proximity to other Neolithic sites, including the nearby Avebury Stone Circle, suggests that Stonehenge may have been part of a larger network of sacred sites used for communal and religious purposes. The site could have been a focal point for the surrounding communities, drawing people together for social, religious, and cultural events. One of the most compelling aspects of Stonehenge is the way in which it continues to capture the imagination of people across the world. For centuries, the site has inspired myths, legends, and theories, from the idea that it was built by ancient aliens to more grounded suggestions about its astronomical and ceremonial purpose. The enduring mystery of Stonehenge lies not only in its construction, but in the way it continues to resonate with us today. The stones remain as silent witnesses to a lost civilization, and their purpose remains as elusive as ever. Despite the advancements in archaeological techniques and the vast body of knowledge accumulated over the centuries, Stonehenge continues to defy complete understanding. The significance of Stonehenge extends beyond its physical presence. It serves as a reminder of the power of ancient knowledge, the importance of cultural and spiritual practices, and the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface of history. Stonehenge invites us to ponder the long-lost rituals and beliefs of the Neolithic peoples who built it, and to ask what this monument, still standing after thousands of years, can teach us about the connections between human beings, the earth, and the cosmos. The Nazca lines, etched into the arid desert of southern Peru, are one of the most enigmatic and fascinating archaeological phenomena in the world. These massive geoglyphs, some stretching over 1,200 feet in length, depict a variety of animals, plants, and geometric shapes, as well as abstract symbols that can only be fully appreciated from the sky. Their sheer scale and precision have prompted numerous theories about their purpose, origin, and the people who created them. How could a culture without the ability to fly produce such intricate designs? What was the purpose of these vast, earthbound images? The Nazca Lines, with their mystery and grandeur, continue to captivate the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and curious minds across the world. The Nazca Lines are believed to have been created between 500 BCE and 500 CE by the Nazca civilization, a pre-Columbian culture that thrived in the coastal desert of Peru. The lines are composed of shallow depressions or incisions made in the earth, revealing the lighter, untouched soil beneath the surface. The desert floor, made up of reddish-brown pebbles, provides the perfect canvas for these designs, which have remained remarkably intact due to the dry climate. The largest of the geoglyphs is the image of a hummingbird, whose wings stretch over 400 feet, while other figures include a spider, a monkey, and a condor, as well as geometric shapes like spirals, straight lines, and trapezoids. The scale and complexity of these figures suggest a highly organized and sophisticated society, capable of carrying out such an ambitious project. The mystery of the Nazca Lines lies in their purpose. Despite decades of research, no one knows for certain why the Nazca people created these vast geoglyphs. Several theories have been proposed, each attempting to explain the significance of the lines, yet none has been definitively proven. One of the most popular theories is that the lines were created for religious or ceremonial purposes. Some scholars believe that the geoglyphs were intended to be seen by the gods or celestial beings, as they can only be fully appreciated from an elevated perspective, such as from the sky or a mountaintop. According to this theory, the Nazca people may have believed that the gods would watch over them from above, and that the lines were a way of communicating with these divine forces, asking for blessings such as rain, good harvests, or protection. This theory is supported by the alignment of some of the lines with astronomical events. For example, certain lines appear to be aligned with the setting sun on the winter solstice, while others correspond to the positions of specific stars or constellations. These alignments suggest that the Nazca people had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and may have used the lines in rituals that were tied to the cycles of the sun, moon, and stars. Some researchers have even proposed that the lines were part of a larger astronomical calendar, used to track the seasons and guide agricultural practices. In this interpretation, the geoglyphs would have served as a way to mark the passage of time and the changing of seasons, ensuring that the community stayed in sync with the natural world and the rhythms of the cosmos. Another theory suggests that the lines may have had a more practical purpose, such as serving as markers for water sources or trade routes. The Nazca region is known for its extreme aridity, and the people of the time relied heavily on underground aquifers, known as puquios, for their water supply. Some researchers have speculated that the lines were created as a form of topographical map, directing people to these water sources or indicating the locations of important resources. This theory is supported by the presence of similar lines in other regions, such as the nearby Paracas, that may have been used for similar purposes. In addition to their potential religious or practical functions, some researchers have proposed that the Nazca lines were created as part of a social or political display of power. The creation of such a massive and intricate set of geoglyphs would have required significant resources and labor, suggesting that the Nazca people may have used the lines as a way to demonstrate their wealth, organization, and ability to command the labor of many individuals. Just as the construction of monumental structures like the pyramids of Egypt or the Great Wall of China served as symbols of power and influence, the Nazca lines may have been designed to leave a lasting impression on neighboring tribes or peoples, signaling the strength and sophistication of a Nazca civilization. Perhaps the most intriguing theory, however, is the possibility that the Nazca lines were created for purposes beyond the understanding of the Nazca people themselves. Some have suggested that the lines were meant to serve as a kind of map or message for future generations, a communication that would only be understood long after the Nazca civilization had disappeared. The idea that the lines were created by a long-lost civilization whose knowledge and wisdom have been forgotten by time, adds an additional layer of mystery to the already enigmatic site. It is even possible that the lines were designed to be seen from the sky by future explorers, either from the air or from space, providing a message to the modern world that would not be comprehended until much later. The mystery of the Nazca lines is further compounded by the question of how they were created in the first place. The scale and precision of the geoglyphs suggest that the people who made them possessed advanced knowledge of geometry, engineering, and possibly even astronomy. The lines were created by removing the top layer of dark pebbles and exposing the lighter soil beneath, a process that would have required careful planning and coordination. Given the scale of the lines and the lack of advanced tools, it is unclear how the Nazca people were able to maintain such precision. Some researchers have suggested that they used simple surveying techniques, such as ropes or stakes, to measure and map out the geoglyphs. Others propose that the lines were created through the use of rudimentary instruments, such as compasses or astrological tools, to ensure the correct alignment of the figures. Adding to the mystery is the fact that the Nazca lines were not created all at once, but rather over a period of centuries. Some lines were added to the site as late as the 7th century CE, long after the initial construction. The fact that the lines were constructed over such a long period of time suggests that they may have held ongoing cultural or religious significance, evolving in response to changing beliefs, practices, or societal needs. The gradual expansion of the lines, combined with their intricate designs, hints at a culture that valued continuity, tradition, and the preservation of sacred knowledge. Today, the Nazca lines remain a UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracting millions of visitors and researchers who come to marvel at their size, beauty, and mystery. The geoglyphs continue to inspire awe, wonder, and speculation about the people who created them and the purpose they served. Though much has been learned about the Nazca civilization and their remarkable achievements, the true meaning of the lines remains elusive. Were they messages to the gods, guides to hidden water sources, symbols of power and authority? Or were they simply an attempt to leave a lasting legacy for future generations? The Nazca lines, like so many other ancient mysteries, challenge our understanding of the past and leave us with more questions than answers. Yet, in their silence and their grandeur, they continue to speak to us across the centuries, offering a glimpse into the minds of the ancient people who once walked the desert of Peru and left their mark upon the earth.